What if I told you one of the biggest names in music hides secrets darker than you'd ever imagine? This video uncovers the untold story of Diddy, revealing secrets that could change everything you think you know about him. Stick around, because if you miss this, you'll never know what lies beneath his fame and why it's so chilling. Chapter 1: The Rise from Harlem. Diddy's story begins on the streets of Harlem, where ambition wasn't just encouraged, it was survival. Growing up, he watched as friends and family members struggled to make ends meet, and he vowed to carve a different path. With that determination, he entered the competitive world of hip-hop, where every artist, producer, and label exec had something to prove. He didn't just want to survive, he wanted to dominate. But behind the scenes, his journey wasn't as glamorous as it seemed. Diddy quickly realized that to make it to the top, he'd need more than talent. He'd need allies, and some of those alliances would lead to decisions that haunt him to this day. The world saw a rising star, but few understood the shadows that followed him. Chapter 2: The Bad Boy Empire. In the early 90s, Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, took off, launching the careers of artists who would become legends. He worked relentlessly, pushing his artists, building connections, and branding himself as a force in the industry. But as his empire grew, so did his list of rivals, and the industry was becoming increasingly ruthless. While the public saw his charm and success, insiders whispered about his cutthroat tactics. Deals were made in back rooms, and some of his closest partners began to wonder how far he'd go to keep his power. This wasn't just about making music, it was about control. And for Diddy, control meant making hard choices that wouldn't always sit well with everyone involved. Chapter 3: The Feuds and the Fallout. As Bad Boy Records gained traction, tensions started bubbling between Diddy and his competitors. Feuds with other labels turned into all-out battles. One of the most infamous was his feud with Death Row Records, a conflict that gripped the music world and nearly tore the industry apart. The stakes were high, and so was the risk. For Diddy, this was more than just business. It was personal. His choices during this period would change the course of his career and that of those around him. Some say that he used the conflict to further his influence, but others whisper that the decisions he made left a trail of betrayal. Was the cost of fame worth it? Chapter 4: Secrets in the Shadows. Now, here's where Diddy's story takes a dark and unexpected turn. While his name was becoming synonymous with success, there was a hidden side that the public never saw. Behind the luxurious lifestyle and platinum records, Diddy faced mounting controversies that could have shattered his empire if exposed. Close insiders speak of a choice he made, a pivotal, calculated decision that protected his career, but left others devastated. This is a side of Diddy that no one talks about. And if the public knew the details, it could redefine everything they think about him. What was he willing to sacrifice to keep his success intact? And more importantly, who paid the price? Chapter 5: The Legacy and the Lies. Despite the controversies, Diddy managed to preserve his reputation, carefully curating an image that left fans in awe. But for those who knew the truth, his legacy came with a bittersweet taste. This wasn't the fairy tale success story people expected. It was a tale woven with power plays, rivalries, and decisions that left lasting scars on the industry and its players. Every time a new artist broke through, they carried whispers of Diddy's influence and the rumors that came with it. In public, he was the king of the music world. But in private, the weight of his choices followed him. This was the hidden cost of his empire, a legacy both grand and haunted. Chapter 6: The Unanswered Questions. To this day, mysteries linger around Diddy's rise and reign. Some of his closest confidants have left, and stories have emerged that cast shadows on his legacy. Despite years of success, there are questions that remain unanswered, and secrets that have been buried for decades. What drives Diddy to keep going? And what might still come to light about the choices he made to stay at the top? As we peel back these layers, one thing becomes clear. Diddy's story isn't just about fame and fortune. It's a reminder that the choices we make shape who we become and define the legacy we leave behind. What else might he be hiding? Reflections on the price of power. Diddy's rise to fame hides a darker story of power, sacrifice, and buried secrets. Discover the untold choices that defined his legacy and the cost that few truly know.